recording, right?
Cryptids.
It's such an ominous intro. Welcome back to Parageeks. Let's bring all the Parageeks back online so everybody knows what's going on. That's the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
There it is. There it is.
I'm half Yeti. I just don't have enough hair here.
So you're what happens when you cross a Yeti with a minion. I always wonder.
Yes. I love them. I don't care what anybody says. I love the minions. Let's prove them to be real. If we're going to prove something to be real, let's prove the minions are real.
Yeah, they're invulnerable, but why does their suits not melt when they go in lava? Like, what's going on? Who's their tailor? Who's their tailor?
So
same guy who makes the Incredible Hulk's pants.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Reed Richards, but we're not doing Nerd Talk tonight. So.
No, that's tonight. That's at 7 p.m. You got to watch for that one.
Yeah, tonight.
So, welcome back to the Parageeks. Everybody online has been watching. I bet everybody's been going, where did you guys go? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. So we got down the lower, let's see, I'm trying to do this lower left screen. That's Mark Muncy. Over in the lower right, that's Michael Butler. Right in the middle is RPG, the man, the legend. Up top is Anthony Sakovich. And, of course, me, John Gaston. And so tonight, I know, everybody just turned it. I shouldn't have said my name. Everybody just turned it off.
I just thought that was a cow imitation. Well done.
I like cows. Cows are good. Just saying. But
eat
I
more
think
chicken.
those at home, we need to say who these people are.
Yeah, let's let everybody introduce
Like,
himself.
get your bona fides real quick.
Yeah, let's jump with RPG first because RPG is going to have to leave us because he's super famous and he's got to get interviewed on Fox.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
a
gonna be on
super
Fox
Republican
tonight.
station, baby. Are you okay with that?
Listen, I lean whatever direction the news wants me to go, and that's all I can
go.
say. No,
Hey.
I think like most of us, I'm in the middle, but I like different things from both sides. No, RPG, worked on finding Bigfoot, cast on Expedition Bigfoot, died, came back to life, had a bunch of kids, having a wonderful time. Premier cryptozoologist for History's Greatest Mysteries with Lawrence Fishburne. About to get on a new one with Dan Aykroyd. Don't tell anyone, that's top secret. And just a purveyor of the weird and wonderful. I'm a future Padawan of Mark Muncy, and just excited to be here hanging out with these guys because they're all top notch. And any show you can be a part of where you, one, can learn something, but also be challenged by others in the space, challenge your own theories and ideas is wonderful, and everyone should get into it more. So that's my thing. That's my mic drop, and I'm done.
All right, bye.
Hey, Anthony, introduce yourself.
Hi there. Yeah, my name's Ryan. And oh wait, no.
I'm not that handsome
because I thought it was great. No, I'm Anthony Sakovich. I have a long history of anthropology studies. I majored in anthropology. I've done archaeology. I'm published in some peer-reviewed journals and other popular journals and that kind of thing. I like to bring the science to the show, and I dig hard because my goal is that when we're done, we know what we can take to the bank and what is probably true. Let's get rid of the garbage so we can focus on what's real.
Wow. How the hell do you follow that? Michael Butler, you follow that, baby.
I like trees.
I like big trees and I cannot lie.
I have been in cryptozoology now for about 10 years, maybe a little more. Tracker, love the woods, love investigating, and these guys are going to really, really push us to the edge, and I love it.
There you go. Mr. Muncy, tell everybody home who you are and what you do.
Oh, gosh. I'm Mark Muncy. I'm a folklorist and storyteller. I have done some of the academic background, but that's not my gig. I love keeping the folklore and the history of the folklore alive. So a little bit of anthropology, but different take on it. I like going at it from the stories and learning where the cryptids are from that. So cryptozoology, but I've done ghost hunting, UFO hunting, all that. I've been doing this since I was 10 or 11 years old. So quite a few decades, and still doing it to this day. So I write the Eerie Travels book series and host the Eerie Travels podcast.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, mine's simple. I don't have the zoologist, but I am the technologist. How's that? I've 45 years in the audio and video world, and I've watched the technology grow to the point where we can actually prove things, I think, better now than we could before. Some things, the Patty film is still fake. That is what it is. And I'm the one that I know, right? I crush dreams. I piss in Cheerios. That's exactly what I do. But I'm also
Hey,
the
urine
guy.
therapy works, by the way. Urine therapy works. Let's not rag on urine therapy. That's
Okay,
a different show.
there you
That's a
go.
different
Golden
show.
showers, all that kind of fun stuff.
I'm not in therapy. You're in therapy.
I need therapy. My therapist would need therapy. I'm just telling you right now how messed up this is. I think this is a good team. We're going to use Mark as our historian. And there's a show on TV that I'm like, oh, you guys are copying them. No, they've copied me from a long time ago, so I'm going to copy some of this stuff. So Mark is he's our history guy. He is our knowledge. And then he'll give us each week or each month, kind of as our marching orders to go look, find, film, whole 9 yards. Michael and I and RPG, when he can get up to the North Georgia, get him out of Florida. Florida sucks. Just saying. So we have some of the best woods up here in the world. I'm just saying. So me and Michael and Anthony will probably most be boots on the ground, other than when we can get RPG up to Georgia, because Florida sucks. So we can get out and do some. But we're not. It's not a show. If I'm right, guys, we're not all about just Bigfoot, right? We're actually we're going to explore the cryptid world. And then we're going to explore the UFO world, and then we're going to explore the paranormal world and conspiracy theories. I mean, we're going to kind of hit a little bit off, because every one of us has really deep roots in some of each one of these things. I know Michael is paranormal and cryptids. Anthony is, oh my God, I can't name everything, but he's, and I'm going to rely on Anthony to historically and to the education side, going back as far as and as wide as the Egyptologist, which is absolutely amazing, because I truly believe a lot of our lore that we get here in the States comes from that world as well. So does that make sense? I mean, I hope this is going to be entertaining for everybody, but today we're not going to go deep on anything. We're just going to talk about some stuff like this. Like Anthony, you put an article in, and you're actually writing about this as well, about migration of the Sasquatch, Bigfoot. And,
Yeah, this was an idea that came to me a while back when I was looking at land bridges and the ages of access to the North American continent. And what I really started to see was a pattern. Of course, they cycle in and out as the glaciers advance and move back. You get different access to the landmass. And we only have real bona fide Homo sapien access probably no more than 25,000 years ago. And that's stretching it. A lot of people will only say, 17 or 18 max. But I will push it back to 20 to 25,000 years. But what I started to look at was, why do we think we were first to arrive here when you've got the fossil record from Asia, which is where we came from? Okay, you got the fossil record from Asia, which is showing some very large humanoids prior to Homo sapien that were, living in the area. You have both, and these are relatively unknown species. We have operated under the assumption for centuries that basically there was one break from primates where you got the great apes and the chimpanzees and all that stuff, and then you've got these humans that just went off on their own. And that's actually not what happened at all. We all understand Neanderthal, but we don't really understand what that means until you get into things like the Denisovans, another species entirely from Asia of humans that also split about the same. We have all these other species. So I started looking at the schedule of how this might have worked out and then what that would have meant. This is all entirely just me playing plug and chug. So I've got a lot of points here that we can talk about, but I want to stop talking now because this isn't.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Only four people are asleep, Anthony. Only 4 people are asleep. It's fine.
No, it's all good, man.
I
Good.
know. I literally, I'm like, well, maybe we should just do an inauguration show, but but you're right. I mean, it's amazing how we sit there and go, well, we were first, and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. But I mean, it's just like the Appalachian Mountains and Scotland and all that stuff. That's the same mountain range.
Yeah.
Now it didn't split in one day and go over there in the Great Flood, blah blah blah.
No,
but it took time. But that gave people back in time. So. I see that puts me where I don't believe that. I just don't believe that the Bigfoot world or the Sasquatch, whatever you want to call it, I don't think it comes from the ape side.
Well,
that's just me.
One big thing about the migration of the mountains, we had that giant Brexit back in the Pangea days where we all decided, okay, we all need to go. These countries need to go their own separate ways. But what's funny, we're talking about migratory patterns and stuff like that. We see that in nature today, where we've watched the animals march along the new paths we've created for them. So they start following the power lines. They start following the railroad tracks and all that. In fact, that's where I get 90% of the encounter stories I get, people send to our podcast, are from people who either A, are truck drivers, so they're following the highways. B, line workers who are following the electric lines and stuff. C, railroad conductors or railroad men just working on the railroads. And then 4 would be hunters who are out there in those areas. Yeah, well, those are the areas where we see the most. And so, yeah, it makes sense. Naturally, ancient history, they would have followed the same migratory paths that are still there today, just now we've made them man-made, and so they've adjusted to that.
Right.
So yeah, I do give credit for that. I do think that's where the world goes with this stuff. I think it's been there all along, and it's going to keep going that way.
Would you say, Mark and Anthony, would you say that this kind of still goes towards the whole? Let's just throw the cryptid world in it. So you've got dogmen, you just got all the different cryptids. So does this mean that there's maybe just big groups of these animals, and they're actually following, like Mark said, they're following the pathways that we've given? Or do you think some of them have migrated and don't migrate as much, but they move around in the area that they live in now, but they use the migratory paths in case they need to kind of go away and not get caught?
I would actually point out that everything that Mark just listed are places where humans make inroads into these gigantic forests. Humans are not making inroads anywhere else. So to assume that it's because it's there that the creatures are using it, okay, is probably, when you said hunters, you started to get into other things. Hunters can go anywhere, and when they go anywhere, they still find them. They still find the evidence. They still have the sightings. So I'm not sure. Yeah.
But RPG, on the shows that you were on, did you ever get in there and go, oh, this? I mean, I know we look for game trails. That mean me and Michael will tell you in a heartbeat, if we're going to go hunt, we're looking for game trail. We're looking for small tracks. But when you do a migration, just say it's 20 of something. Right? Say whether it's buffalo, whether it's horses, whether it's wild pigs and stuff like that, those little game trails turns into true migratory trails. So RPG, when you were on these shows, did you ever get in there and go, oh, hey, look, you know what? This is not just a game trail. This is a migratory trail.
Did we do that? No, I don't think anyone was specialized enough to identify something that grand of scale, in my opinion. But I also think everything we've ever been taught is a lie. So the first thing you would have to start with in terms of trying to map out where these migrational routes are is the fact that we are the old world. We possibly is where everything came from, the Americas, and spread out. They've told us it's this backwards thing. Dude, there's more pyramids in Asia. There's more pyramids in the United States than there are in Egypt. All that is wag the dog. I hate to stand so far to the woo side of the other side, but no, you're in ancient Egypt when you're out in the Midwest, and we can, I guess we can dig deeper into that. But let's get into something that people are going to like the most that goes with migrations. Because do I think they migrate? Yes. If I was on the run from the government or from you guys, knuckleheads trying to find me, I would move and I wouldn't stay anywhere for more than 2 weeks, which oddly enough is about the time that high strangeness happens before it moves on. So do I think it's real? Breaking news, this just in. Major Bigfoot surge in Portage County, Ohio. The Bigfoot Society is tracking an unprecedented cluster of activity. March 6th, a local researcher observed a 9-foot-tall brown male standing 120 yards from the SR-44. March 7th, 10:42 p.m., a second witness, Dylan, reports an 8-foot figure with long arms. March 9th, 10:20 a.m., Garrettsville, the activity shifted 8 miles east. Migration, I say so. Then March 9th, Headwaters Trail near Hockey Road. They see another one. March 9th later in the day, another one. Are they on the move? Are they moving? Is Anthony right? You tell us.
Mark was just talking about that before we even started. that Ohio is just become, a super hotbed.
I just got 2 from Wayne State Forest, and then one up near Red River Gorge, and one up near Hocking Hills. That's just in the last 2 weeks. So something's going on up there. We're not sure. I've got a few friends, boots on the ground up there, that are keeping me posted. But yeah, these came in before the BFRO reports came out.
Oh.
So these just came to the podcast. This was a guy just sending me a listener tale, a story he had a strange encounter and just wanted to talk about it. And it's like, okay. And then I document it. I sent it to the BFRO, but then all these other reports started popping up, and I was like, oh my gosh, we've got a flap. We've got something going on. And now there's even a report from a police report where a horse got attacked by a non-human entity, which is animal, usually a bear or something like that. But of course, the Bigfoot hunter's like, that's right there. And I was in up near Canton.
So Anthony, so if we start, let's start today. If you can send those locations to us, and same thing with RPG, let's start doing a map. What do you think, Anthony? And start doing to see if we can track a migration.
Well, especially since we can cross-reference it with other people that are already maintaining maps, and I have no problem, bandwagoning on people that are already doing an enormous amount of work. So we can add to that, and I think it'll be good to have some of our own stuff. But we also need to understand the difference. I was talking about a species migration.
Yes.
And you guys are talking more about seasonal migration.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think seasonal migration is a very big part of why it is we don't seem to find them, why they hit and run.
Right.
They are traveling in small bands. I think 15 to 25 is exactly right. It's small family units. And they are moving up and down 2 different mountain ways. We have on this side, we have the Appalachian Mountains, depending upon which end you're from.
No, it depends on if you're from there or not.
It's both.
Mason-Dixon
Up
line
north, it's Appalachian.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have, of course, the Sierra Nevadas, in which they are migrating up and down the West Coast as well. And they're very similar kind of rainforest terrains. And so the fact that they would both be doing the same thing makes a whole ton of sense. And it explains a whole lot about why we don't find them, including there's other reasons why we may not be finding any residue, and as in, bones, burials, that kind of thing. I think I've got a line on that one. And it does involve the fact that whenever we look back at these ancient species, like, for example, the Denisovans, they had a cranial capacity larger than our own, about 10% bigger than ours. So there is absolutely no reason to think these things are the least bit unintelligent.
Oh, no, I think they're smarter than we give them credit for.
They are just doing what they do.
Yeah.
And I think they have learned how to hide themselves because when they got here, they were the king of the forest. They owned basically all the megafauna. They had everything. Then at the same time, a new species, well, not the same time, 30,000 years later, new species comes across and starts to hunt them into extinction, as well as hunting all of their major food source. And they used their hunting ability at hiding and taking down large game and turned it into hiding ability to stay away from this new giant or smaller animal that travels in packs and hunts with spears.
Yeah. Hey, two things because then I got to rock and go do a news show. I'm so sorry,
He's
but
so
yeah,
up there.
I'm so
He's
sorry.
so
I'm so sorry.
famous.
So in terms of
Oh
hunting,
wait,
right?
hold
If
on
you
a
live
minute.
in
I have
harmony,
Britney Spears at my door. I'll be right back.
please let her use the bathroom. Let her use the bathroom. In terms of hunting, right? If you live in harmony with nature, which is what I believe we all believe relic hominids do, then yeah, you're going to have a serious advantage if you say, screw this, I'm cutting it all down. I'm hunting everything to extinction. I'm
Right.
literally a suicidal virus that's just going to take over everything. So yeah, we will lose that war. And then at the end of the day, what is it? It is always a breeding war. And the one thing humans can do, we're like rats in a barrel. We will just keep breeding. Second part is, Anthony, I believe you even were the one that bestowed this wisdom upon me, which I love so much, is we've recently found out that the Mammoth Cave system goes all the way up from New England, up in Maine, all the way down to the west, basically New Mexico. There is an underground freeway system. And if I was intelligent, if my brain was 20% bigger, or if I had anything bigger, big hands, and you know what that means, then I would be underground. I would be popping up in the good hunting spots or the giant vistas that are way up where those little hairless apes that have anger issues can't get to me. But mostly I'd be traveling under. I think the giants still exist. I think they're using the underground. Look at Missing 411, where the clusters of people that have gone missing. We should overlay that on our migrational route just to freak people out.
Yep.
But yeah, at the end of the day, they're ambush predators. They've learned, they've used their intelligence to stay away from the psychotic breeders that we are.
And see, that just takes us
That's my
into
piece.
the conspiracy side of.
Yeah.
I gotta go. I'm so sorry.
Peace out, RPG. Pleasure.
Peace out.
I love you guys.
We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next
We
time.
tolerate you.
Oh, God. So that right there brings us into the theory of Hollow Earth.
Well, we're going right to that. All right.
Well, I mean, again, this is what this show's about. This show is about not just about one thing. So, then that puts us into, okay, do we have a Hollow Earth system where that the underground cave system that goes from East Coast to West Coast plays a part of entrance to the Hollow Earth world?
All right. So if you want to get into other cryptids, we've got two stories, one out of Kentucky that out of the Olympia mine, Olympia Rose Run mines, an iron mine there. They were digging into a new vein. They had run out of iron, so they were blasting a new vein. It blasted open, and inside they saw two creatures eating a bear. And they were flat-footed, web-footed, kind of. They had long, scraggly fingers, sunken heads with sunken eyes, and long, stringy hair. According to some descriptions, they were wearing like loincloths or something like that.
Right.
It was a freaking golem from Lord of the Rings, right? The way you describe it. And so the workers all fled, refused to work until they were taken care of. And the mine company hires gunmen from Lexington, Kentucky, to come bounty on the bears.
Were you with this?
Right.
And so they came in, and the next day we heard that they shot the bears, and they came back. And the reason we know about this is a guy wrote letters to his grandma describing all this. And the only reason we have any verification is that the newspaper article where the Rose Run mine managers hired gunmen to kill bears. So now,
when was this? When?
This is right before the disaster in 1912. So this had to be 1890 something. And then I don't have my dates very good right now. Sorry, I didn't know I was going to be talking about this. I had pulled up my notes.
No, but still, 19th, early 20th. That's fine.
Yeah. Now, what's funny is all along the river there and along the cave system there, we've got stories of the Huntington hobgoblins, which are little creatures that hopped out of the river, the Ohio River, supposedly, You've got the Loveland frogmen in that area. You've got all these strange stories of these hoppy little creatures that may come into the water or may come out of the caves because it's all right there.
Right.
Mammoth Cave System, I'm not even going to get into because they find 4 miles of that every weekend. So
Oh,
we
wow.
still don't know how big that is. So they've got guys tunneling every weekend and they find new stuff.
Okay, so
Now,
would
spelunking, right?
would
Yeah.
you say that the golem that which you're talking about and the little things that come out of the water, that's still in the world of the cryptid, right?
Yeah, they are not
Oh, yeah.
proven. I mean, we've got police reports of Loveland where police saw him in the 70s, and then it was a tailless iguana that we shot and killed. And where's the body? It was disgusting, so I threw it away.
Threw it away. It was so gross.
Again, you follow the folklore, the Huntington Hobgoblin stories, and you follow that Olympia, Kentucky mine thing. Again, if you don't follow the folklore, you don't know this. You just it's bears, it's this, it's that. That's why I look into that. But and that's again, these are things. Family
a
stories.
pattern needs more than one point.
Yeah. And that but the fact that there's so many over different, but all along that same corridor makes you think, okay, where there's smoke, there could be fire.
Well, okay, so let's bring Mike in here because we're talking about the dogman world. Because Mike, so Mike and I tested, and unfortunately, I hate it when someone comes to me and go, I had this done, but they can't verify their source, and so Mike gave me a hair. Actually, Mike and I were there, and I took a hair, and he took a hair, and I had it, and I sent it to a buddy in Connecticut, and that's about as far. They run a lab. They run a criminal lab, but that's as far as I can go because some people just don't want to be tarnished or tainted or looked into a better, different way about their. But he did test it, and that thing came back. It came back canine. What was that? What did I tell you, Mike? It was canine, something else, and then unknown. And the hair was coarse, long, and he says, "I don't know what you got there, but it's not just a wolf, or it's not just a coyote or a dog or
sounds
something
like
that."
dire wolf.
So
one of the specimens we took was the hair was over 12 inches long.
Wow,
that would be the mane of a dire wolf or the tail.
But dire wolf are not supposed to be around anymore, other than out in Utah where Skinwalker has them.
That's just it. If they can be in one place, they can be anywhere.
So and then there's pieces of property up there that Mike can tell you more about it. That there's these facilities and they're locking stuff in, and you can't get anywhere near it. But it's up in the Appalachian Mountains. So what is that? What is that place, Mike?
The Oak Ridge Lab.
Oak Ridge Lab.
Oak Ridge Lab. I'd say Black Rock.
What do you know about it, Mike?
Black Mountain. There's a few up there now. Big Hole just relocked its area in, which is that's up in North Carolina. And there's a few up there that are now on some sort of lockdown. We assume it is to do with the war in Iraq or something like that because these are intelligence locations, intelligence gathering locations.
Sure.
We know Big Hole used to be in NSA, but they abandoned it and somebody else took it over. We don't know which organization took it over, but there's something going on in these places that they're locking in. We have a few places over the years where there's been sightings, and then the next day suddenly there's a controlled burn in the area. Oh, it's just to protect the forest. Well, why suddenly? It wasn't on the books. It wasn't anything scheduled. They schedule these things months in advance.
Right.
It's like, we had to do it. It was emergency. Okay, but that's only because BFRO had a report there like 2 days ago, and they were just sending teams out. So it's very interesting.
So, Mike, over in that area where you're at, what's the? Is it more dogman or is it more Sasquatch?
I'll be honest, until we got the hair, I didn't even believe in dogman. I'd heard reports all it was misidentification of Sasquatch. I had a Class A sighting when I was fairly young, so I knew Bigfoot. Went and got the photo where we took the specimen, and that's one of the reasons I wanted you to come down and look at it, because I really didn't believe dogman was even a thing. I just thought it was misidentification, and that was a big surprise for me. Most of the sightings that I have heard of in this area have all been Bigfoot. I've never heard anyone speaking of a weird creature that kind of looks like a dog. It's always, "Ooh, I think I saw a big monkey." So
Did you get any tracks?
for this area, I did not because there were too many leaves on the ground.
Right.
Uh,
We did
Okay.
go to where was that? What was the mountain we went on? We took that guy and his partner. We went over,
Up in Cherry
Yeah.
Oak Mountain.
and I'll tell you what, you could the trail the tracks that we got on were not deer, weren't pig, they weren't the usual, they weren't dog. They were big. I mean, and the strides were about what do you think, Mike? Was it 5-6 feet?
It was
Maybe it-
5 foot 4 inches according to Anthony's stick.
Yeah.
He had a stick that was 6 foot long, and we used it to measure the stride from.
So yeah, it was up there, and then on top of all that, the paranormal world up in that Appalachian Mountains is absolutely insane. And that's something else that we're going to get into because we're not just Bigfoot guys, we're not just Mothmen or Dogmen or so we're going to get in the paranormal world as well. And I know that up that area, I literally want to be the guy that goes out in the middle of the freaking Appalachian forest, put my tent up, put my my fire out there, and start whistling. I'm just saying, dude. I bring it. If you can scare me,
Poking the bear. Yeah. Yeah,
that's
no,
how you
that-
know.
That's something to be said for that. I mean, that is, it's, what do they call it? Oh gosh, the word's escaping me. Where you provoking. You're
Yeah.
provoking.
Mhm.
You're
I'm
literally trying to see what you can cause.
I'm
that-
totally there to poke that bear. Absolutely.
Until
Yeah,
it turns
no,
out to be a bear. Then
Yeah,
think twice about it.
you know,
I got bear
I
spray
still
and a
think
gun for that, so I'm
90
okay.
I still think 90% of the sighting reports that I get and all that are bears, misidentified bears. I'd say
So I-
99%.
I put
But
a
That 1% that gets me.
yeah,
That's
I put
where
a
it's not
video in our chat room so that way we could all look at it, and it was a wolf. I think it was a wolf, coyote, one of the two, and the noise that this thing was making
Yeah.
was not what you think it would be. And I guarantee you, I've heard people put sound bites up, and I'm like, and first I'm like, oh, that's really good, and then after seeing that video, I'm like, it's a stinking wolf. Good God.
Foxes around here.
Coyotes have ridiculous sounds that they
Yeah.
make. And if you're ever, we used to have a pack of them out by the farm, and you'd hear them off in those, the 40-acre wood next door. And it would just be crazy. You'd think people are screaming at each other. Then
Yes.
you realize, wait a minute, that's not quite right. And then you hear them just communicating back and forth as they hunt in a pack. And it was just, it's just an insane sound. And while we're on the topic of, strange sounds when you're out there, just make sure that you understand that a donkey braying is actually where they got the sound for the sand people in Star Wars. But we'll just leave that aside for a minute.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So I'm
was
going to
yelling.
do,
I heard a
want
fox yell for the first time the other day out in the. No, it sounds like a woman screaming.
oh
It's like,
yeah.
Mhm.
It was like, oh my God, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One
I-
real quick
And
thing.
even cat,
Go ahead.
bobcats, the purported
Oh, yeah.
Black Panther sounds they make.
Yeah.
I'm going to do
No,
it. I'm going to do a segment on one of our shows, and I'm going to play it without you seeing what it is, and then I'm going to let you guess what it is, and then I will
Yeah.
show you what it is.
Yeah, multiple choice, A, B, C.
Yeah.
Which animal, and number 5 will always be a human screaming.
Yeah, it will.
but-
Yeah. Well, I'll take Mike out in the woods and throw him down a hill, and as he's making noises, I'll record that.
We can do that.
I know.
We also need to get that movie scream that everybody uses in every film now.
Yes. Yes.
We've all got a bit of gray here, so I do have to bring up one point
Yeah.
that a lot of people overlook in all this is that you guys remember comic books in the day that you could
Mhm.
mail order a monkey.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and you could
Yes, you
You could-
could.
like super
Yeah.
cheap to get a monkey. My dad
And not just sea monkeys; these were real
No,
monkeys.
Monkeys.
monkey.
Yeah.
My
Mm.
dad and my uncle famously ordered one and got it sent to them, and they were kids. They saved up their money, didn't tell Mama, didn't tell Papa.
Oh
they
my God.
And they were convinced it was going to be the best thing. They made a little Superman costume for him. It was a long story. But anyway, they got it, and it was in this little box. They said it had a little hole. It was screaming. Mama wouldn't let him open it because it was church day and everybody was there. And so they snuck in with a knife and tried to poke to get the box open. So you can imagine this poor monkey, half starved, trapped in a box, only sharp blades coming in at it. So it escaped and ran havoc through the hills. Now, they used to sell monkey chow at the Tractor Supply type places, all the feed stores and all that, because so many people had these monkeys. Now, also, you could order hyenas. You could order all kinds of crazy animals when you looked into it. And you looked into some of these places, and it's like, okay, what if some breeding pairs got out there? Have you seen a hyena in the wild? They get huge.
You literally just took my thought out of my head going, oh, now I know where Bigfoot's from.
That's part of it, I think.
So what you're suggesting is that monkeys crossed with hyenas.
I'm just saying, if you see a big hyena out there, that could be a dogman.
Monkina.
No
doubt.
And so DNA tests have come back with canid unknown, could be canid hyena that is just inbred so much.
Yeah.
That because they have really long hairs.
Inbred and I'd have to look into whether hyenas can crossbreed with any other canine breeds.
I'm not sure.
That might make it really interesting if they could cross with coyotes or something.
It's called a chupacabra.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the one who's supposed to be the believer, but I do think that was something we discover again when you're looking through newspaper articles and you're looking through folklore. You find something like, oh wait, you could mail order monkeys. Oh yeah, I knew that. My uncle did that. My dad and uncle did that. And then suddenly I'm like a few down is like, oh, you can mail order a hyena. Wait a minute, that sounds a lot like. And then you start looking at real hyenas in Africa where they're not just some in captive, like in the zoo. You're
well, look at all the things that are living in the sewers in Florida. Down in Miami.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah,
or
things
New
that
York
people
City
have released that were never supposed to be there.
It's weird. So now let's jump over to UFO world. And what do you guys think about now? I think we're going to get disappointed. It'll never happen. But now they've got this, the new president Trump is like going, okay, I'm going to release all the files.
I think they've worked themselves into a corner.
I do too.
I think something was coming. They were convinced there was something that was going to show up and it was no longer going to be able to be denied. And so they had to start doing these congressional hearings. They had to start letting the whistleblowers talk a little more. They let a few things leak. And that way they can say, hey, we tried to tell you all about this, but you didn't want to hear it. Right. And I think that's the only reason that this is even remotely getting any play, besides the fact that it's the old classic, hey, there's some bad political scandal going on. Hey, there's aliens.
Right. Well, I'm okay. So has anybody watched, other than me? I know I think I put it on there. Has anybody watched War Machine yet? Number 81. Okay.
On the agenda.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick premise, and then you can go watch it, and we can talk about this down the road, especially on Nerd Talk. So they played off of the the Oumuamua asteroid.
Yeah, Oumuamua. Yeah,
Oumuamua, right? They played off of that, and then we have this alien attack, and that alien attack is now War of the Worlds, basically. Yeah. Okay, Alan Richardson did a great job. Watch it, but so it's almost like this movie came out in time for all of this UFO world, right? Because they've been leaking crap. Biden leaked a little bit. Obama leaked a little bit.
Yeah, but the Bush CIA has never been involved in Hollywood.
Oh, no, never. Oh, no. Never.
Don't look up Argo. Don't look up Argo.
Yeah.
But I do think, well, even Spielberg's got his new one, Disclosure, coming out.
Yeah.
So there we go. It's Disclosure Day.
I
do think something's coming, but I didn't expect it in my lifetime, to be honest. I grew up a 70s kid. Close Encounters, In Search of. I was bogus. stuff.
Right.
And we don't talk about that. And then Project Blue Book was closed, all this stuff. We don't talk about any of that.
There used to be a
And
TV show called Project Blue Book, in which they were supposedly going over all the cases that were in the files.
And then that went away.
Yep.
How about
yeah,
that?
I can imagine. Can imagine. So,
So,
no,
but I grew up. So as a kid, I never really realized how much of a hillbilly I actually am. I always thought I was a redneck, but I'm more of a hillbilly because my mom's side is from the oh my God, I can't. My dad's side is from the Appalachians, right? So we have Appalachian Cherokee in us, and my mother's is from Missouri, so that would be the Ozarks. And so we used to, in this little town, I would go. I was kind of fortunate. We got to spend a lot of time with those families, and my aunt and uncle lived in Piedmont, Missouri. And if you don't know who Piedmont, Missouri is, that is a hot spot for, and actually, I didn't know that. Mark had to tell me this. So, but it is a hot spot for the UFO world. And we used to go out and on the riverbanks, the whole 9 yards, watch the skies, and all my family goes, there goes one right there. There goes one right there. Did you see that over there? Did you see all of those over there? It was literally like that was our nighttime entertainment because, we didn't have phones and crap like that. So it's amazing. It's amazing that how much activity is actually in this country and in the world, but especially this country. So.
Yeah, Missouri. Piedmont has the the UFO capital of Missouri statue there.
Yep.
It's like an alien, and I think there's a playground that's like a UFO saucer and stuff.
I will take a picture of it this weekend. Unfortunately, the last uncle that I have on that side of the family passed away yesterday, and this show airs a couple days ago, and so I will be there. I'll take pictures of all that because dude. Half the town they're all in, and the other half the town goes, I don't want to talk about it. It's the ones that say I don't want to talk about it that have seen stuff. So
you're like, I don't want to get lumped in with that.
Right.
Exactly.
I literally want to get us all together and go to that area and actually film from there. Because it is amazing. I mean, I've got family all over the place, so we got places to stay, and we can watch all the skies that we want to watch. I'm just telling you, it's crazy.
A lot of it is near air bases. Let's be honest. A lot of it is, Tampa has, MacDill. Ohio has Wright Pat. Pensacola, the Gulf Breeze UFOs are right there at Eglin Air Force Base. Warner Robins here in Georgia and the Southern Appalachians. They're all over the place. And that's 99% of the sightings are military aircraft that they don't want us to know about. A lot of them are drones. A lot of them are things like that.
I agree. Absolutely. I think it is the government, but I also think, because I guess I'm just weird. I also think a lot of the ETs that are coming here are not from different worlds. I think they're us, and they're they're time traveling. Does that make sense?
That's a popular theory. Theory.
I think
I've had that idea for about 35 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a popular theory. And then the other one is that they are from alternate universe, because we're learning that it's a heck of a lot easier to go to an alternate timeline / universe than it is to go to Alpha Centauri. Yeah. Because we've done testing with that, with CERN and all that. We're discovered, there are multiple dimensions, but I got in trouble for a scientist saying alternate dimensions because he said, no, dimensions is a measurement. It's an alternate universe, alternate timeline. That's not a different dimension.
Hey, if
so
you're
saying that, but I've been saying that since the 70s.
I was gonna say, if you read comic books, we all know there's alternate universes. I mean, come on, that's comic books, and this is kind of funny that I think comic books is the way they drip reality.
Sci-fi comics,
Yep.
We no longer call conspiracy theories. We now call them spoilers.
Spoilers, right? Been saying this shit for years. Yeah, I'm the old guy that's walking down the street talking to himself or on the phone, and everybody's like, he's crazy. I've been telling you for years this is the way it is.
I'm actually, since we have a couple of minutes left, I want to deep dive on that one there. Well, kind of a shallow deep dive.
Okay.
But that idea, when you look at where we are in the galaxy, and you look at where the galaxy is in the universe, and you realize we are sitting, just to use an analogy, okay, we're sitting around a tiny little campfire that is somewhere buried in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains, somewhere in North Tennessee, where nobody ever gets out there. And we're sitting here going, oh, goodness gracious, everybody's coming here to visit us. And that's what really made me start to think about it, is like, if there are that many billions and billions of suns out there, to quote Carl Sagan, then the odds of there being a lot of life out there is great. The odds of there being any life near us is pretty low. So this whole thing of people coming to visit us just because we're here, we're probably really low on anybody's bucket list when it comes to, gee, I'm going to travel across the galaxy. But if you do think about it, then there's nothing that says that we may not be experiencing people from our own future coming back on what are basically class field trips, doing research in the past, just like we would do. I mean, we have gone out, we have gone into villages in the Amazon and lived with those people, Levi Strauss and so on, who stayed there and lived with those people and learned everything they could, and found out about primitive species and primitive, humans and yada yada.
Yeah.
And so we did all that. We saw all that. So there's a very bright side on this, is that oh my God, look how far we evolve over time, and we're still around.
Yeah.
But there's a dark side, and who knows what that is.
Yeah, the more we deep dive, and today it's not even deep diving. Today it's just a shallow dive.
Yeah.
Once we start really opening up our
today
mind,
is a sampler platter.
Right. I mean, there's so much. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mark.
Just real quick on the whole universe as big as it is and all that. It's appropriate. Today's the birthday of Douglas Adams when we're recording this, and he had the great.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He had the great.
Awesome.
How many people live in the universe, and the population of the universe is 0, because there's an infinite number of worlds, simply because there's an infinite amount of space for them to be in, but not all of them are inhabited. So there has to be a finite number of inhabited worlds.
Right.
And any infinite number divided by a finite number is as close to 0 as makes no odds.
Right.
So therefore, the entire population of the universe is 0. And any person you meet from time to time is merely the product of a deranged imagination. So
Mine.
there you go.
Mine.
Yeah. But we've got
the really dark side. But
yeah.
the dark side of that idea is the butterfly effect. And if you're going back in the past,
right,
you have to make sure you don't change anything. And they're changing a lot of things when they come back here. So then you have to understand that whatever they're changing doesn't matter.
It's not
because
enough
something
to matter.
So big, so catastrophic, and so pervasive
that's
actually
why
makes all of us irrelevant.
Right.
What's that?
This is why Dolly doesn't have braces in Moonraker anymore, is because they changed the timeline. And that's
and
the
Haynes
one that
doesn't have the cornucopia anymore.
Yeah. The one that breaks me is Dolly without braces.
And the
man.
Monopoly guy does have a monocle, damn it.
Hashtag Dolly had
It
braces.
wasn't Haynes, it was Fruit of the Loom.
Fruit of the Loom, whatever.
Of the Loom.
Yeah, I mean, tons of it. It's like, what is it? They say the movie Aladdin, not Aladdin. It's the one that's got the comedian in it that he didn't. In that movie, never existed.
Shazam.
Shazam. Yeah. I mean, I watched it. I think I literally have the VHS tape in my mother's house. So
if you do, it's worth a fortune, man. So
it's crazy. But then again,
when you show up dead next week, okay, because and your mom's house has been broken into, we now know what happened.
I love watching these guys, and I don't mind talking about other podcasts on here. The Butterfly Ninjas, absolutely phenomenal. There's like 4 people, and they literally start talking about all these different conspiracy theories. Like here's the latest one, that the Earth timeline resets itself every Tuesday, and that's what creates these holes. and why we were missing stuff and the whole 9 yards. And I'll find the clip from these guys. If you don't follow them, go follow them online. They're absolutely hilarious. And I think they're called the Butterfly Ninjas. And there's three guys and a girl. And some of the stuff they talk about is like, well, I've never heard of that. And then I go down that rabbit hole and go, oh my God, that's scary as hell.
It doesn't just happen on Tuesdays. It happens at 8:30 p.m. on Tuesdays, and I'll tell you why.
That's what okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to tell you something
okay.
I do know what I'm talking about, though, and that is that the safest time to drive is at 8:35 p.m. on Tuesday nights. That's when the least number of automobile accidents happen. And so I swear it must be that everybody's reset and nobody has road rage. So it's safer to be on the roads. There's your proof.
Also, I think coincidental with that is also like one of the least times for murder and violent crimes. It's Tuesday,
exactly
8 to 9 is the weakest hour.
All right, I'm going to find that clip. I'm going to find that clip of these guys, and I'll play it, and we'll just throw out some love to them because now they get me going. I've never heard of that. I've got to go find out about it, and it always winds up being a deep dive. And it's like, and when I'm done, I'm like going, I just spent 3.5 hours, 4 hours looking at something that was probably dumb as shit, but it really made a lot of sense in a way. So I don't know.
To me, it's just because that was when the A-Team reruns were always on. So that's, nobody leaves the house great.
Always love when they're playing guns together.
Tuesday night was Happy Days.
The Happy Days, A-Team, and then Charlie's Angels later. So,
Nobody had any reason to be on the road. It
actually, Tuesday nights was Dragnet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go.
You're going back too far on that one.
Tuesday nights,
not even you're that old.
Let's leave it at that. Must see TV on Tuesdays. So.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
So this has been a taste of really kind of what we're going to be all about. And we will have footage out. Like this weekend, me and Michael were supposed to go out and test out these Zoom cameras in the woods just to kind of see how they handled pretty well. But unfortunately, that's going to be put on hold until maybe next week. Next weekend I have to go to Florida. So 1 week out of every month, I have to travel to Florida, and it's typically the third or the fourth week. But I may just drop one of these things off to Michael and say, hey, Michael, go have fun with them. Don't break them if you don't have to. There we go. So that way, so I want everybody watching, if there's anybody, all three of you, if you have a topic that you want us to hit, send it to us. If you have footage, you have an image, you have audio that you need to have, you really want the truth. And the problem is, I tell everybody this up front, but everybody still gets a little butt hurt, is you send it to us and we will go through it, especially me and Anthony. Me and Anthony will tear it up. I am trying to get us a new DNA person that will literally put their name to our stuff, because saying that I had someone look at it is not. I even sent that.
Send it to WNC, Western North Carolina University. They're doing a big study on it, but they're not publishing any of their findings.
No,
what's the point?
Right, exactly. So now the one good thing is I ordered a microscope, so I can actually do. I can't do DNA testing, but I can actually do microscopic. I think Anthony has one too, don't you?
I've got a couple around here, yeah.
Yeah, so we can actually take a look of hair samples and stuff like that because, I want to keep it as clean as possible. The minute you hand it to somebody, research like this to me is like doing plumbing. Every connection you make, you've got a leak issue or a potential leak issue. So in the audio world or the video world, every connection I make, I get a 5 dB drop, right? So if we can actually do everything in-house, keep it in-house, and do it ourselves, we can sit there and go, okay, this is what we found. Anthony, you got degrees. Mark, you got degrees. I got 2 degrees. Michael's, he's got hunting degrees that I can't even, I thought I was a good hunter growing up and stuff like that. That Michael makes me look silly. But so you've got people that have, and then there's RPG who just loves everything we do. So, but we have the
boots on the ground. They're way more than anything we'll do. So.
Right, exactly. So I can track, but I'm going to be with me and Michael, and hopefully Anthony will get him out there. We'll all get out there and get stuff and get footage and stuff like that. And then if you've got a paranormal world that you need looked into, let us know. we'll send a paranormal team. We've got no problem doing that. Not scared of anything, literally. I want to go. I want to make it a mission for Parageeks to go to every single house that they say is so haunted that people shouldn't go in there. I want to go and truly find out if it's really haunted or not. Because in my world that I grew up in the church world, I'm not going to shove church down anybody's throat, but I've always been taught, and I mean deep taught, that there's no such thing as a friendly ghost. There's no Caspers out there. Everything is demonic, and so I want to see. Look at Mark shaking his head. No,
I think it's the exact opposite. I think
really?
there
You
are
think
negative
so?
things. I think there are negative things. I don't like using paranormal. I don't like. We're gonna get another topic. We only got a minute left. I talk about preternatural stuff we don't understand
Right.
yet. I think that's the difference. It's not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's otherworldly. It's negative. It's demon. It's this. It's something we don't understand. We don't know the rules. So maybe we're breaking it. If you were an a-hole in life, you're going to be an a-hole as a ghost, John.
That is I will be offending some people. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah,
I'll be like,
exactly.
God, don't take me yet. I got people I got to go take care of.
That's another episode for another time.
But I do have a Satanist that I'm getting ready to start his shows, but he's not a Satanist anymore. He's actually become a preacher. So he went over, but he was big on that. I mean, he was up there with the big boys, and some of the stuff that they ask him to do is actually will curl your hair. Absolutely scary as hell. So, but anyways, you got 35 seconds.
Yay.
Yeah, I would love to have a perm. Maybe he can help me grow hair. So thanks for watching, everybody. We appreciate it. We got Anthony, Mark, and Michael, and RPG was on earlier. If you're even looking to join our team, let me know. I think we're all up to taking on people, and you can be a remote person, and we'll send you stuff to go do and film and all that.
Yeah, we
kind
love
of fun
having
stuff.
guests in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we absolutely love having guests in.
Absolutely.
And whatever you have, we'll bring you in.
We'll bring you in and talk to you. Guys, thanks for showing up today. I appreciate it. And everybody, thanks for showing up and watching. We'll see everybody on the next episode of Parageeks.